Let me see how that reflects. Okay, we'll start soon. We'll just begin in a minute's time, in 60 seconds time we'll start. All right, I think we've waited enough. It's 10 minutes past 10. We can begin. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the inaugural Future Ready Summit 2026, hosted by Sodbridge Academy. Before I proceed, kindly just confirm if you can hear me. Please confirm if you can hear me clearly. Can you hear me clearly? Okay, thank you. All right, so thank you so much for taking your time to join us today. Whether you're a student or you're a recent graduate or a working professional, either in the tech space or outside the tech space, or someone who is simply trying to understand how your career fits in this rapidly changing world that we have, you're welcome to the summit today. The theme of this summit says building a career in the age of AI. I believe it's no news that we are in the age of AI, artificial intelligence. And I personally think it's an important conversation to have because AI is changing not only the tools we use, but also the skills that companies, organizations value. AI is also changing the way we learn and the way we think about building a career. In almost every domains now, AI is really, really affecting. It's really, really disruptive to it. So today, we are discussing about AI and how to build a career with it, and also practical insights from people from the industry. We are not discussing if AI is taking a job because we're not trying to predict if AI is going to take a job or going to take your job, right? There are nuances to that. However, it's important to understand, how we can become more valuable in our place of work in a world where AI is increasingly part of the workspace. And we've brought together three professionals with different perspectives um, around AI, around data, around business intelligence, and also they will also help us with the skills that would help us to remain valuable and competitive in this world of AI. So we're going to be having practical conversations. You're going to be learning, and you hear from their experiences and you hear from their insights, and you'd get to live with something tangible. Hopefully, you can get insight from them and see how you can apply this in your own career journey. So the three speakers we'll be having, we have Aliyu Kuburat, will be our first speaker. We would also have Chiamaka Igwe and Victor Asuquo. Aliyu Kuburat is a data analyst. She works with GIG Logistics, and I'm sure you guys would get to learn so much from her. Chiamaka Igwe, on the other hand, she's a business intelligence consultant, also known as DataChy, and she's a business intelligence consultant at DataChy Analytics. Victor, on the other hand, that's the third speaker. He's not here currently. Hopefully, he joins us soon. He's an AI engineer who works at Lumicoria AI. So before we begin, each speaker would have about 20 minutes or thereabout, for their main session, and after which we open the floor for some questions or comments from the audience. So if you have questions, please feel free to drop your questions in the chat. All right, don't wait till the questions and answer period. So if something comes to mind while a speaker is talking, please put it in the chat, and we can always pick them up later. Also, towards the end, we'll introduce properly the academy and what we do, what we are building for aspiring tech professionals, including our upcoming course. Most importantly, this summit is meant to be interactive. It's meant to be an interactive conversation, so please participate, engage, and ask questions. Share your thoughts also in the chat. And with that, we'll get into our first session. Feel free to also take a notes and a pen just in case you want to jot some things down, because trust me, you would learn certain things. You would learn things here. So if you want to jot certain things, please feel free to do so. And with this, we'll begin the first session. All right, so session one begins. Kuburat, you're welcome once again.
Hi, good day, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm going to be sharing my screen.
Please, if you can hear Kuburat, kindly let me know. Or if you can't hear, also let me know in the chat session. Can you all hear Kuburat? Okay, okay.
Is that a yes?
Okay, so you can hear Kuburat loud and clear. Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that confirmation. So, yeah, I'm really excited to be here, right? Especially because I understand that we have a mixed audience today. Some people are currently learning data analysis, some are already working as one, and some are probably just still trying to figure their way out to whether analytics is the right path for them. So if you are in one of these and you're here right now, then you are in the right place, right? Because the essence of this is to give you a better understanding of what it's like to be where you want to be, right? In your journey, in your career journey. Just like the hosts have mentioned, if you have questions during the presentation, you could just drop them in the comment section or hold on to the end of the presentation, because I'm literally on clock, right? And so I want to start with a simple question. If you are given a data set today to create a beautiful dashboard, a beautiful Power BI or Tableau dashboard, does that automatically make you an analyst, right? Does it? Probably not. So you have these beautiful charts, excellent colors, impressive DAX measures, and a very interactive dashboard, and you might still not solve the business problem. Now, that's one of the major problems we have, and I think that's one of the reasons why I chose this topic. Right, beyond dashboards, how could you or how can you be a great data analyst solving business problems? I want us to look at four things. The first one is understanding business requirement, asking the right questions, choosing the right KPIs, and presenting insight that actually drive decisions. And by the end of this program, I want you to look at data analysis with a different eye and a different perspective, probably different from what you've always known it to be. Because data analytics is not just about dashboards. Trust me, it's not. So dashboards are just one of the tools we use, but our real job is to help people make better decisions using data. Now, we're not going into technical, there's nothing technical here, right? It's going to be completely more of a soft skill plus mild, let me not say not full, mild technical, but then it's still soft skills, literally. And that's because it's important. It's not just about knowing the tools. It's not. It's more of how you think behind, it's more of the thinking behind that tool. That's exactly what matters. So now, understanding business requirements. Let's start with the first one. This is probably one of the most important skills to be an analyst, right? Interestingly, it's not a technical tool. Yeah, like I mentioned before. When you're starting out, you may think, oh, I need to learn SQL, I need to learn Power BI. Oh, what about Python, Excel? I need to be advanced in these. Yes, those skills are important. Yes, don't get me wrong, they are. But it's important to know when and how to use them. And if you don't have this knowledge I'm going to be teaching you today, you will struggle. You will struggle with knowing how to use the tools, when to use the tools, and how to use them, especially. Imagine now your stakeholder comes in and asks, I need a dashboard to show, yeah, I work in a logistic workspace, so I'm going to be using more of some of the terms we use, right, on my side, so that just better give you a perspective of where I'm coming from. So I need you to be the dashboard that shows shipment performance. What do you do? If your first response is, okay, send me the data, you may be starting in the very wrong place. Your first question should be, what decision are you trying to make with this dashboard? It's important that you know the problem the person is trying to solve before you jump into anything. Clarity. You request for a clarity, right? So because I need the dashboard, it's not the real business requirement. The requirement is what they actually want to do with that dashboard you created. Now, a stakeholder will tell me, oh, I need a dashboard for shipment performance. I could immediately start building total shipments. Oh, what are our delivered shipments? What are the pending ones, the cancelled ones, the revenue, by different regions and all of that. And after doing like a week or two work, I come back with a beautiful dashboard only for the person to tell me, oh, this is really nice, but that's not what I want. It's not gonna this is not solving my problem. Why? Because I never really asked what he wanted them. I never really asked what he wanted that dashboard for. I never really got to be pointed at the problem he wanted to solve. Now, the analysis changed entirely. And this stakeholder tells me, oh, what we're trying to do is to know why we're spending so much on shipments, or why we're spending so much and we have eventually failed deliveries. We're trying to do some calculations around that. My mind's like, wow, okay, that is definitely something different from what I did before. So now we are looking at delivered versus undelivered shipments. We are looking at the cost associated. We are looking at the failed delivery and all of that. You know that was not what I was doing before. We are looking at root cause. We are looking at trends and all that has to do with something that still has to do with cost of those shipments. So now my questions now will revolve from just doing something out of the blue to what happened? Why is it happening? What decisions do I need to make from this? Where are we going with this information, and what actions need to be done to answer our questions? I become a problem solver at this point, right? Because I'm not just an analyst now, I'm trying to solve a problem. Now, asking the right question. One of the biggest difference between a beginner analyst and a strong analyst is the quality of the questions you ask. A beginner, a beginner analyst or a learning, an analyst still on the learning journey, we ask you, what does the data show? A strong analyst, you that you've been there, you've had this experience and you understand what it's like. The question you'll be asking is, what do we need to know about this data? Those are two different questions, really. Let me make it simple for you. Okay, suppose your company asks you, our sales dropped this month. Your job is not simply to just start creating chart to show that sales drop. No, we already know that, it's what's it called? It's a disease. Now we are looking for the symptoms. We already know that sales drop. We already know this is what it is. But what do I need to do from my end as an analyst? There are a lot of questions that comes with just one sentence of a sales drop. A lot comes to your mind, sincerely. How much drop are we talking about? What are we comparing it with? We're already talking of dates difference from when you said it's sales drop to the other this thing. When did the decline start? What products contribute to this decline? What locations is affected? Did the number of customer decrease? Did the average, did the price change? What are we talking about compared to market operations? Only one thing, a one certain situation, our sales drop. And you can see you can see so many questions that I'm already asking as an analyst. I will not just, my sales drop, the next thing I'm jumping into data and I'm trying to look for what did not exist. Like it takes you a long time when you're searching without clarity. It takes you a long time, seriously. It takes you so much long time and time wasted. You can spend a whole day and you will do nothing. It does not mean anything, right? When you haven't helped, you haven't helped. So you think as an analyst and as an investigator, because that's what you are technically. You imagine you are a detective. You don't walk into a crime scene and say, let me make a beautiful dashboard for you. You start asking questions. And those are all the questions that I've mentioned before. Now, you ask the question of the what, the why, the for what, and the now what. I understand. The what and the now what, they are not the same. Trust me. Why revenue dropped by 15%? What happened is that revenue dropped by 15%, right? Why did it happen? The decline that happened, you talk about that. What happened? You talk about that. Now, what is the recommendation you intend to make after your findings? Now, choosing the right KPIs. This is where dashboard can sometimes become dangerous because we can measure almost everything. And because we can measure everything, we sometimes put everything on the dashboard. Too much information. That's where this comes in. Too much. And they don't need it. Total revenue, the order, the customer, just because you have access to a lot of data. That is where feature engineering comes in, right? You narrow down to only what you need. In fact, you don't give, it reduces the load you give to your tools. If you're using a Power BI, if you're using SQL to query, it reduces the load on them because there's something called optimization. When you don't put everything on it, you tend to optimize what you have. Optimization is not, so now you get to a point in your analytics journey where just finding the right question just finding the right answer is not what you need. Finding the right answer as quickly as possible. Optimization comes in. How fast, right? Can you get this done? Not just that, I can get it done for you. So now, and before you know it, you've created a dashboard that looks impressive, but too much information. And the person is trying to filter, look for what they actually need in your analysis. Now, for example, the business asks you questions of, are we meeting our delivery promises? We are talking of on-time delivery percentage. Are we becoming more profitable? We are looking at our profit margin. Are customers leaving us? We are talking of the churn rate. Are we spending above our plans? We are talking of cost variance, right? So these are the context. These are the things we look at when we're talking of KPI measures and requirements when it comes to questions or problems that you are faced with. Simple, something like this. As simple as it looks, it tells a lot of stories. You can see delivery rate is 95%, our target is 98, previous month is 90, benchmark, you do it according to, don't over information. Over information is not advisable, right? When it comes to analytics. We delivered 95% of our shipments. Is that good? We don't know. What is our target? Our target is 98%. You can see that from just looking at it, you're already seeing all the information you need. 95% deliverable. Our target is 98%. We can see that we are 3% short. Previous month is 90%. We can see that we did more in the current month than the previous month. Our benchmark is 97%. We can see that, yeah, two distinct difference. Our variance is 3. So what can we do more to ensure that, the next, we're talking more, we are doing more in the next deliverables? Um, Now, presenting our insights that drives decisions. I already mentioned the KPI, narrowing things down, and all of that. Now let's talk about the fourth point. This is where many analysts struggle. We find ours cleaning data, we write SQL queries, we build models, right? We create dashboards. Then we present the dashboard and say, as you can see, this is the dashboard. So, we can proceed with whatever we want to do. But the business doesn't necessarily need us to explain the charts, right? They only just need to know what happened, how it happened, what we should do about it. Simple. In fact, you're boring them if you do too much and you're expecting that they'll be so impressed. If they need just 2 information on the dashboard and you're giving them 8, you're doing too much already. And they don't care about that. Sincerely, they don't. All they want is, see, it's so simple. This is my problem. Have you solved it? Yes, I've solved it. What did you do? This is what I did. That's all. So imagine you are presenting to an executive and you have just 30 minutes with them. They probably don't want you to explain how you created the query, or they're not necessarily clear how you created your dashboard. That's your business. So the answer they want is, oh, the chart shows the volume by in the region that did this. Shipment volume increased by 18% overall in the volume that did that, right? This is the insight, and this is what I've been able to get from it. As simple as that. The information, the data, the information, the insights, and the action. You reported this is the insight, and this is the recommendation. You see these simple 3 things you're seeing on your screen, that is it. That is what they need. And that is what you need to like streamline your mind to understand, right? So let's put everything I've said, right? Let's put everything in one simple scenario. Imagine you have a stakeholder that says, our business operation cost is increasing. I need analysis. I need to know why. What's going on? Now, I have a dashboard. A dashboard, first analysis might be immediately the first thinking in my mind is like, oh, let me create cost per month, cost by branch, cost of shipments by customer. But then, thinking again, the problem solving analysis will be like, okay, no, that is not where I'm going to start from. Let me start from understanding the business requirement, which is the clarity meeting you're supposed to have with your stakeholder. So I have a clarity meeting. What does the increasing cost mean? This one is important. Understanding what's it called? Understanding what they actually want. Increasing cost in a company might mean 4 different things. So you need to understand what you need to know what increasing cost mean to that stakeholder in it's himself or herself to move ahead, right? What does increasing cost really mean? Is total cost increasing, right? What is the cost per shipment? What is the cost per percentage on revenue? And what decision does managers want to make? All of this. So you are now I'm understanding what the problem is saying. The next thing is the next thing is ask the right question, right? The right question is, when did this increase start? What cost category increasing? What location is affected? How do I do what volume are we talking about? What is the variance and all? The next thing will now be choosing the right KPI, right? Um, the right KPI is how you now want to answer those questions that you've said before. It's just like hypothesis testing, right? This is what the problem is. Now I want to validate or know why the problem exists and know what you're supposed to do for the problem, right? Now, the next thing after that is for you to now present your findings. And finally, recommendation, right? So now, as I wrap up, right, because I can see that my time is almost up, I want you to remember 4 things. Understand before you analyze. Don't rush into the data. Understand the business problem. Ask a good question. Ask the right question. Very good one. The quality of the analysis is often determined on the quality of questions you ask. Choose KPI that supports your decisions. Don't measure something simply because the data is available. Measure what helps answer the business question. Don't just present numbers, present meaning. Don't stop at what happened, move to so what do we do next, right? Now, finally, for those of you who are currently learning analysis, right, data analysis, I want to leave you with something. You don't need to know everything before you start. You don't need to master every tools. You don't need to know all of Power BI, the SQL, the Python. I need to learn this. I need to learn that. Start with the simple basics. Start learning how to think with the data. Start learning the simple basic things you can do. To help yourself in this journey. Tools will change, technology will change, but business will always have problems that needs to be solved. And the analyst who can connect to the data, the insights, make decision out of it, and action it will always be valuable. So don't become just that person that creates beautiful dashboards. Be that person that actually make a change. This is what it means to go beyond the dashboard. Thank you. So I have a question here, but maybe we can always talk about that later. So our sales is declining. I need a dashboard. What would be your first answer to that? I know I already answered that in my first slide, so I hope you can answer that, right? Thank you very much. All right, MC. I wrapped up.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kuburat. Thank you very much. That was a bam. That was a bam. I hope I trust people are learning. I trust people are learning already. I trust people are learning. And some of the things you said, also um, piqued my interest. It piqued my interest as well. So please, you can see a question. You're working in a company and the manager tells you our sales are declining, or the stakeholder tells you, our sales are declining. I need a dashboard. What would be the first question you would ask? So this is for the audience. What would be the first question you would ask? But Kuburat, so pending when responses coming to this question. So, audience, please just drop your response on the chat, on the comments. We'll look at it. So, I'd like to ask a question. Kubrat, are you with me?
Yes, of course, I'm here. I'm with you.
Okay, okay. So, my question is this. Let's look at our setting here, in the Nigerian space. You talked about understanding the business problem or understanding the main problem, But
Okay.
there are some stakeholders or some directors, who probably believe you should have a good understanding, probably based on the fact that you've been there for a while, or they they just believe you should know what to do, right? In that instance, if they come to you and they say, "Well, we are having these issues," and probably they give you data sets or give you data, how would you advise a an upcoming analyst or upcoming um data analyst to respond? Because some of these business owners or executives, some of them don't really understand the problem themselves. They don't really understand the quote and unquote business requirements. So what would you do in that kind of instance?
Okay. That's actually a beautiful
Do you understand
question.
the question?
Yeah, yeah, I do. I do. It's actually a very, very great question, really. So, and I'm going to answer that question based on what we are doing here, right? Comparing when you're just coming in and when you already know what to do.
Okay,
So if
okay.
you're just a new analyst, a new person coming into, you're just new, right, in the company and all of that. Even if you know or have an idea of the business knowledge, as a new analyst, there's a way, there's something I've noticed, and confidence, right? You're still a bit timid about talking to these people, so you just want to find your way around things yourself. Don't do that. So you as a new analyst, you might just, they tell you something like that, oh, you're already here, you already know what I want, so just go and get on with it. No, no, it doesn't work like that. So, but now I'm going to talk to you as an analyst that have had the experience, right? Number one, The stakeholder that knows what they are doing will not tell you that. No, they will not, right? And number two, you own your craft. I don't know if you understand me. They will listen to you. They listen to you, especially when you speak with so much confidence. You know what you're doing. So if you come to me and say, "Oh, I need this," and I'm telling you, I need a clarity. Do you want this or you want that, or can you better explain why you say you need
Mm.
this? Yes, because that's what I need to direct me to what I want to give to you. So if I'm asking you like that, and you're asking you ask me, but you'll be here now, you should know. No, no, different perspective change, different requirement change. Do you know, for instance, now I can even give you a practical example. I've gotten two different requests from two different stakeholders, and I used the same data to answer them, and they provided me two different results. Like seriously, the same data, right? To answer two different questions. And that is because what one wanted to see was not the same with what the other wanted to see. So if I had
Hmm?
assumed, yeah, if I had assumed, I would have just
Mm-hmm.
sent them the same thing. But that will not answer the question. So I've been working for years now, and I still tell you, even up till today, like up to today, if you're a stakeholder, you send me something and it's not something I've been doing for you before, for us to be like, oh, this is a repeated task or this is a repeated request, and it's something new, I will ask you for clarity. Yes, I'm not going to assume that I know it, because that's one of the things that, yeah, no, don't assume. Just ask questions. And asking questions does not make you feel less incompetent. Yeah. So that would be my answer to that.
Mm.
Did I answer your question, Damson?
Oh, thank you very much. So, well, I think it's great something here that as a data professional, you shouldn't you shouldn't present yourself probably more than you can do.
All right, guys. It looks like Damson is having a bit of internet challenges and all. So just to say more to the question he asked me, because sincerely, I know that's one of the problems that the new analysts or people that are just coming into the field, that's what they probably face. Don't be timid, right? Don't. It doesn't help anybody, and sincerely, it will not help you as well. Just whatever questions that you're asked, whatever clarity that is needed from you, whatever insights that anybody wants from you, ask questions. Seriously, ask. See, even the ones that have spent 8 years, 10 years in the industry, there's no expectation, right? There's no expectation of you to put all information in your head. Nobody says that. Nobody. So ask questions. They call you and tell you they want you to do this. Like, for instance, let me be practical with you, right? If I want to build a dashboard for anybody, even till today, we have clarity meetings. We schedule a meeting, we jump on a call, we talk about what that dashboard is going to be about. We talk to you about how I'm going to be walking it through. I'll talk about the expectation from your end and what I can do for you, right? We even have some things that data self cannot do, right? Some expectation that comes in and you see, oh, I won't be able to help with it because we don't have data for this. This is what we have data for. This is the limitation. These are our boundaries, like that. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. It just gives clarity, and it just makes everybody understand where they stand and the expectation of, so you don't expect too much from me, especially if will not be able to deliver that. The person already knows from your clarity meeting, this is what you should expect, this is what I'm going to be giving to you, this is the timeline, and everything. And then communication is important as well. So because if you won't be able to meet up with the timeline, and yeah, you already have that in the you already have to communicate it. So if you promise somebody that a dashboard is going to be ready in a week, and a day before that you're already seeing that, oh, this dashboard might take longer than expected, or communicate it. Let the person know why. You're not just saying, oh, I'm going to need more time and that's it. No, a proper communication. Oh, I could see that I'm already working on your dashboard. If needed, you can even send a screenshot of so that the person knows that, oh, you're already working on it. And then you let the person know why you're not being able to meet up, and propose the next date that would work. And when you do that, if you will not sleep at night, don't sleep. Oh, you have to meet up. If when you reschedule or you cancel on an expectation of a project that is expected of you to deliver, and you reschedule based on something, and you propose another date, it's whatever you will do. I don't care. Oh. Me, I'm telling you now. I'm telling you as a big sister on this call. Whatever you want to do, do it. If that sleep, you're going to sleep 2-3 hours at night to ensure that you deliver on that new date that you've told them you're going to deliver, then you have to deliver it. That's just it, right? We also have, pending when Dempsey join us on this call again. We also have situations of um I already talked about the lack of communication, which is very extremely important. We also have situations where you assume things. Hey, as somebody that's coming in, don't do that. Don't assume whatever it is you think this person wants and then just go ahead and start doing it. Number one, they need it for a meeting. They're asking you for it. Then you submit it and they cannot use it for that meeting because you did not do exactly what they wanted you to do. So you've disappointed not just yourself, but the person that is asking you for this thing, right? So ask questions, communicate well, and do not, I'm repeating it, don't send the wrong data to someone because you don't have enough time to finish it. It's better that you don't meet up with your timeline than to send in something that is wrong to the stakeholder, because you know what that would do? That would embarrass the person at the meeting, and that embarrasses you too. And it's an extension, an embarrassment to your team. So the embarrassment is not just on you. It's on you, it's on that stakeholder and on the team. And God help you, the stakeholder from what's it called? Trust you again or respect you again, right? Okay, maybe you can do it for the first time, and maybe you apologize and all of that. You guys rectify. If it happens the second time again or the third time, oh boy, you're gonna be a joke. So it's better to give an extension, request for an extension. Oh, I'm not done with this. Oh, let them know. Oh, you're not done, and that's why you need more time on it. Than for you to go and um, present what is not true or what is not right. Because you know how data is. Data does not lie. You. It doesn't. It's either yes or no, and there's evidence for it because there's trail of evidence for data. So if you lie on your data, someone else can pull it, and when the person pulls it and it's not what you've pulled, and it's now what's it called? It now confirms that what the person pulled is correct and what you pulled is the wrong one, then there's a problem somewhere. So you wouldn't want to be on the team where people don't believe what you say, or they don't believe what you present. Yes, it will be embarrassing, obviously, right? So all those kind of things, asking the right questions and ensuring that whatever it is that you're giving out is correct and the right thing, and also ensuring that if you're not going to be able to meet up time, reschedule, tell them another date, and you must meet up with that other date. Whatever you have to do, nobody cares, but then you must meet up. So those are the most important thing, like, I would expect anyone to do. How do you Okay, I think Dempsey is joining us already. Is anything decision beyond data sets? I'm trying to understand that though. Or do you mean is any decision beyond data sets? How do you balance gaps in data? So that's part of what I'm saying here now. I need more context to that. that question, because asking that question now, can every information be gotten from data? No, not every information can be gotten from data. Olabanjo, there are some informations that you cannot get from data, and there's nothing wrong with saying that. Like I mentioned before, you can always ask, you can always let them know that, oh, we can get this for you, but we can't get this for you because we don't have data for this. So that's the thing. Data um is very factual. Like it's a fact. It's either you have it or you don't have it. You can't lie your way around data. That's the thing. You can, yes, there are people that manipulate it, right? But like I said, the truth will still be there for anybody that wants to come and check again. Because you can't lie your way around it, right? But Olale, I will still need more information on this. Is anything decision beyond data set, or how do you balance gaps in data? I need more context to that. I don't understand it. So if you can resend that, that would be nice. Then I'll be able to answer your question. So I think the host is having a bit of internet issues. So if you have any question, you can just drop in the comment section while I attend to that before he joins us again. All right. I think he's back now. Hi, Damsi.
Hello, Kobe. How you doing?
Hi, can you hear? Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. Welcome back.
Yeah, I was listening to the responses.
Oh, okay.
So sorry about that. I had some network glitches. Okay, so I can see some questions here, but I think some responses were given as regards the question you asked. Have you seen the question, the responses?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've responded to a number of. I've responded to some of them, but like I said,
Okay, okay, okay.
yeah, but I think it's everything we were talking about. Like, I'm going to need clarity on Olabanjo's question on a decision. Is anything decision beyond data, or how do you balance gaps in data? So, like I said, now I have the experience and all of that, but I'm going to need clarity on that. Just on the topic we are talking about. You can assume, I can assume I know what this is and try to answer based on that. But I've answered him on, can every information be gotten from data? So we've talked about it.
Okay. Olabanjo, can you please emphasize more on what you mean in with your question? Can you please expand further? So while Banjo is doing that, we'll probably respond to that much later. What's the word now? So thank you very much once again, Kuburat.
Thank
We'll
you.
be bringing on the second speaker, and she's one who is, she's more of a business intelligence person, right? She's also a data analyst, but she's a business intelligence consultant, and we call her Data Chi. I remember I asked her if I should call her Data Chi. She said, no, 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 no. Chiamaka is fine. Chiamaka is fine. So I think we'll maintain that for now. Chiamaka. Chiamaka, welcome. The second session is yours. You have the floor.
All right. Thank you so much, Dami, regarding that introduction. My name is Chiamaka, like you said. All right, let me share my screen.
Hello, Chiamaka. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me? Could be, can you hear me? It could be that Dami is having an issue.
Yes, I can hear you
So
loud
I
and clear.
think it's having an issue.
Chiamaka, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you help me respond
Okay, okay.
to Dami on the chat?
Okay.
Okay, I'm trying to put this on slide mode. Okay. So we are good. All right. Good morning, everyone. Still morning over here in Nigeria, but good afternoon wherever you are, or good evening, depending on where you are connecting from many parts of the world. Like Dami said, my name is Chiamaka. I'm a business intelligence consultant, Microsoft certified trainer, and data content creator, DataChy. You might be wondering, who is a business intelligence consultant and how is the person different from a data analyst like Kubi, right? So let me quickly put this here. A business intelligence consultant is also a data professional, right? But the thing is that a business intelligence consultant or business and intelligence analyst in some companies, some call it a Power BI developer, depending on the particular organization that you are looking at. It's someone that helps a company to monitor their current and past performance using dashboards and reports to be able to make strategic decisions. So basically, the difference is based on the tools. Although in this part of the world, the role kind of overlaps between a data analyst and a business intelligence consultant. You tend to have more of business intelligence consultants in organizations outside Nigeria, US, Canada, and Europe. It's kind of isolated. You tend to see more of Power BI developers, business, you call them BI analysts or something. So they also use your Excel, your SQL, but they are heavy on the data visualization aspect of things, right? So we use tools such as either Power BI or Tableau. These are like the major ones that are popular, although there are still some like the Data Studio and ClickView, depending on the organization. So these are the basic tools that a business intelligence consultant uses compared to like a data analyst that does more. A data analyst is kind of broad, whereby you do your statistics, hypothesis testing, and all of that. So I am a business intelligence consultant. I needed to put that there so that you can understand the difference. Then for this particular session, we are going to be looking at how to build a career as a business intelligence consultant in this AI era. How can you survive in this particular era? We are not new to the news and information that you're getting online that AI can do a whole lot of things for you. ChatGPT can actually do a whole lot of technical things for you. It can write code and all of that. Claude can do this for you. So you might be wondering, okay, is business intelligence a good career path in this present time? Am I going to be replaced if I focus on this aspect? So this is what I'm going to talk about in this particular session. Right now, these are various things that a business intelligence, these are various things that AI can actually do for a business intelligence consultant right now, right? And it's basically heavy on the technical aspect of things. You can use ChatGPT for data cleaning and modeling, which is part of the workflow of a business intelligence consultant. You can use it also to write DAX and SQL. DAX is actually a language in Power BI, if you're familiar with Power BI. For this session, I'm going to be focused majorly on Power BI, which is the tool that I use, and is the business intelligence tool that Microsoft actually uses. So that is one of the language within Power BI. And most of these LLMs that we currently have now, the ChatGPT and Claude, they are heavily trained on how to write this. So currently they can write good DAX queries for us. They can also write SQL queries for us right now. Claude can build amazing charts for you. It can analyze your data and create amazing dashboards for you right now. So these are things that it can do. And also the documentation aspect of things. You can actually use Claude to write description of your different columns in your Power BI. If you're trying to like document your project to hand off, you can use that to like write description for the columns and tables that you have within your file and be able to give that off to someone else. And when the person opens it, the person can be able to understand what you have done within your project. So if Claude and ChatGPT and all these amazing LLMs can now do a whole lot of these things, the technical aspect for us, what is now left for you to do as a business intelligence analyst or consultant or BI analyst or Power BI developer, as the case may be? You find out that in this present age and time, the job is not disappearing. I'll have to be honest with you, but the thing is that it is changing. I started using Power BI in 2019, and I've been creating amazing dashboards for people. I've been working with industries, I've worked with different industries and all, but realize the fact that my workflow and what I do generally has really changed compared to now. The major improvement is the fact that the speed of my output has increased tremendously. So right now, you shouldn't just be a traditional BI developer building dashboards for companies and all. You should be someone that, for that particular aspect, you should be someone that have scheduled, now has a workflow to work together with AI to speed up this process so that you can now spend more time on what matters. Before, in order to create a project for a client, I kind of spend, if it is a simple project, if it is a one-page dashboard, I kind of spend the whole development cycle could be like 3 to 4 weeks. But right now, I can create a project within 1 week and ship this particular product to the client, right? Because I now work with AI. You find that I now have to spend more time on the decision aspect of things instead of just being a dashboard builder, in the sense that I tend to have more meetings with the clients to get more clarity on what the project entails. I tend to look deeper aside building. Yes, I have built this dashboard for this person. I will now start looking at, oh, the user experience. Would this actually be something okay that this person can actually use in order to be able to answer the question that he or she requested for in the first place? Is this particular dashboard right for the right audience? So I tend to have more time to dwell on this aspect instead of just on the technical side of things as a dashboard builder. So, like I said, the workflow has changed. The previous workflow before the age of AI, you have the data cleaning, you get your data, you write your DAX, you build visual, and then you present. But now you frame your question, use AI Claude for the exploration. For Power BI, for instance, the Microsoft Hub tends to have a fabric SKU that you can connect to Claude AI for data exploration, easy data exploration within your data. So you no longer spend time that you do previously in order to explore data. You can now connect to Claude AI, for instance, to explore your data faster, depending on the type of data. And the thing actually, you might be wondering, can I put all data depending on the company's stuff? Won't it actually hinder data privacy? There are companies now, especially a company that I currently work with, they have their own internal AI tool that they gathered, they have their own security set up regarding that. And they expect you to use that tool. They expect you to, and the fact that they have given you that tool, it actually means that the speed of your output, they're expecting you to give them output faster compared to before. So we now have the ability to explore data with AI, which is faster. You now have the ability to use AI to write DAX and debug DAX. Before now, we tend to use Stack Overflow and everything before the age of AI. But now with AI, because of the fact that it is now trained on different DAX models and everything, you can easily write DAX, debug DAX faster, and be able to create a good dashboard quickly compared to before. Then you now have to incorporate human validation. Yes, you are working with AI, but you still need to validate as a human being. We tend to hear news about AI hallucinating, giving you something that doesn't exist. But as someone currently working within that organization, you already know the nuances of the data. So if it's giving you something that is out of it, you tend to be able to spot that. So we need to incorporate the skill of validating whatever AI gives you. Then business decision. So now you have two modes of an analyst or business intelligence analyst for instance now. One is someone that spent usually before the traditional aspect, someone that spent 3 hours debugging and all. And before that, some people actually cram that code and everything. But those things are no longer obtainable right now. You don't need to cram any dash code. You don't need to cram any SQL queries. These are things that you can easily get using AI, which is encouraged for you to use them. Yes, the major thing is for you to learn the basics of what that is about. But with AI right now, you can learn faster and be able to like create more things. So like I said earlier, you now spend more time validating the output of what you've gotten, investigating any trends or discrepancies within the like I said, we create dashboards. So when you're looking at the dashboard and you look at the trend of the line chart, for instance, sales declining in this particular month. Why is it declining? In this particular month, or did we have any peak of sales in this probably in October, for instance? What happened around that particular time? Did we do any campaign or anything? So you now spend more time to investigate this, and also question any output that you have. If you have any question, you now have more time to like talk with the stakeholder, have more meetings with the stakeholder in order to be able to get clarification and build better dashboards that are now more accurate because you spend more time validating than doing the technical aspect of things. So there are things that all this what I've been saying, these are things that AI can do for you, but are still things that AI cannot do for you. AI cannot help you to know if what you are getting is actually correct. You still need to learn that particular aspect, in the sense that the first one is the business context. AI doesn't know the business context of things, right? Most of these LLM models, the ChatGPT and Claude AI, they were not trained even on Nigerian data. I would say that because of the fact that these LLMs actually came from the Western world. So they were trained on the data that is available to them. And we all know that here in Nigeria, our data is not actually that structured for different organizations. I can tell you that for a fact. So you know the business context of what you are currently working on. For instance, a logistics business in Nigeria is actually different from the way it operates in the United States. There are different nuances whereby that will affect the delivery time. Here in Lagos, for instance, you have the last mile people that can stop a vehicle or even a bike that's trying to deliver something. These are things that can affect them here, but they are not factors that affect them over there in the Western world. So you need to know the business context of what the data that you're analyzing in order to create that dashboard in this case. Then critical thinking, you need to learn how to think critically, how to look beyond the dashboard before you even present. Okay, this is happening. Why is it happening? Right? You need to know when something is changing and indicators that actually shows that this particular thing is changing. And the next one is data literacy and evaluating quality. AI, yes, can explore your data for you, but it still doesn't know the nuances of some data warehouses and all. For instance, in the HR data aspect, sometimes when you see date of birth, especially some companies, if they're using Dynamics 365, for instance, if a date of birth is not added for an employee, it can default to 1900. That doesn't mean that the person was born in 1900. But if you did not give AI that particular input regarding your data, it might assume that the person was born in 1900 and start calculating the person's age using that wrong data. So you should know your data nuances as well. Then communication. Yes, AI has helped you. You've been able to do the technical aspect of things, but you still need to communicate and influence your stakeholders to actually bring them to use this tool, because at the end of the day, you are creating a tool as a business intelligence consultant to help a company. One other thing, one major issue that you might tend to have is the fact that some people wouldn't want to use that tool. So you need to communicate and influence them on the reason they need to use this particular dashboard and monitor it, because most dashboards are actually in real time. So it can really help them to pick any particular issue they are having in real time. So you need to know how to communicate and influence your stakeholders. Then decision making and taking strategic actions. So these are skills that you should still also know in this present age and time, together with the technical aspect of things. So AI should be your co-pilot and not your brain. I've been saying how you can use it. Yes, you can use it to draft DAX measures, write and optimize DAX, SQL queries, but you still need to ask questions. Is this calculation business correct? For instance, if you're working on a data set that has timeline, if it is year, most companies have their own financial year. Some start January to December. Some their financial year starts in July or March, for instance. These are contexts that you still need to use your brain to like give AI that context. AI will just analyze the data for you and give you what it knows, but you are the one to guide it together with the context that you already have regarding the business in order to give you the output that is required. Then also you need to think about the logic that it is using. Is this something that is obtainable within your data set, within your organization, and within your locality? Because of the fact, like I said earlier, most of these LLMs, we are not trained with our data. So you need to also think about the logic that they are using. Then you answer the question, does this answer the stakeholder's request? You are the one meeting with the stakeholder. The AI or Claude or something is not meeting with the stakeholder in this particular case. You are the one meeting with the person. So is this output I'm getting actually meeting up with what this person is requesting for? You are the one to answer this question. Then on this particular point, what will make you valuable? So we have our technical skill as a business intelligence analyst. You have the Power BI or the Tableau as the case may be, but I'm referencing Power BI because that's the tool I'm currently using. Then SQL mastery, you need to know SQL as well in order to be able to extract data from databases as the case may be. Then data modeling, Power Query language. This is another language within Power BI that you need to learn. You don't necessarily need to master this because you can use the UI within Power BI to be able to know that. Then Microsoft Fabric. This is another tool. It's more like a more recent tool, like 2 years ago, that you need to know about. Then AI skills. In this present age and time, like I mentioned earlier, most companies are adopting AI. If they are using the Microsoft ecosystem, they are using Copilot. If they are not using Copilot, they have their own internal AI tool. So right now, you need to have an AI skill as a business intelligence consultant or even a data analyst in this particular case. You need to know prompt engineering. How to ask prompt engineering actually means how to ask AI the right question. So they expect you to use these tools in order to do your work faster. So you need to know how to ask the right question in order to get the right output, which is prompt engineering. Then AI and assistant analysis, which is actually the workflow that I showed earlier. How can I connect my data to this to be able to answer my question? Within Power BI, for instance, there are ways that you can export data without actually exposing the data. You can export the data model, you can connect it to your Claude and be able to do your analysis without really exposing your data. Then you should also know AI limitation and ethics. Ethics in the sense that what are the right thing to do with AI within my organization. Some organizations have rules and regulations of what to do with their data and what not to do with their data in this case. So you need to know those things. Then business skills. Right now, like I said earlier, the technical skill is no longer enough. You need to know about the business. Most Power BI developers, business intelligence analysts, most times before now, focus more on the technical aspect. But we find out that because of the fact AI can still do this for you, you need to show that you are valuable by knowing about the business. Try to know how a business or an organization makes money. And in order to be able to gather this knowledge, your domain knowledge of this particular business, there are ways you can do that. You need to know about the industry. You follow industry blogs to understand the KPIs that this industry need in order to move forward. You need to make friends with the business analysts. Most business analysts within an organization already knows how businesses make money, so they can be able to give you more clue and insights on regarding what you need to learn. Then the next one is communication. You need to start learning how to tell story with your data. You need to know how to present the insights that you're having in order for the stakeholder to be able to make decisions from that. You need to learn how to present insights to a technical audience, non-technical audience, and executives. So you need to know these demarcations and all. So, and you also need to have an advisory mindset, in the sense that it's still a communication skill on how to influence that stakeholder to be able to make decisions based on the outcome that you are seeing from the analysis and the tool that you have built for them. Then beyond Power BI, for this particular slide, I'm actually showing, especially for the Microsoft ecosystem, this is a particular tool that you should also need to add to your technical skills that you need to learn. This was actually released, that should be 2 years ago, or rather 3 years ago, in 2023, the Microsoft Fabric ecosystem. So as a business intelligence consultant, you need to know about this ecosystem. This is an end-to-end unified platform released by Microsoft. They want all their data professionals to work in a particular ecosystem. You don't necessarily need to master the whole workflow. You have the data factory, the lakehouse, the data engineering aspect, data science and AI, semantic model, then Power BI and their own AI LLM, which is the Copilot. You just need to know the basics of what these individual aspects are. You don't need to master them, but it's good for you to have that at the back of your mind now. Most job descriptions for business intelligence analysts, even data analysts, request for a Microsoft, using a Microsoft ecosystem, request for someone to have the knowledge of Microsoft Fabric, because you're going to be working with it often within this particular role. AI isn't just changing our jobs, it's creating new ones. There are some job roles and job titles that never existed like 4 years ago or 5 years ago, but we tend to see them now because of AI. You have the AI ethics and governance officer. This is someone that actually tries to ensure that whatever AI someone is using within the organization is actually according to the organization guideline, that it is being used correctly the way it is supposed to be used. Then you have the AI product analyst, someone that analyzes data and user analytics for an AI product. Then you also have the AI analyst. This is more even like an AI data analyst. So these are job titles that you can see online. So instead of just searching for a data analyst in this case, or a business intelligence analyst in this case, these are some job titles that you can search for, and they are still kind of related as to what a data professional can do, and you can explore these ones. Then you have the decision intelligence analyst, which is more like a business intelligence analyst. It's just the title that differs. So these are some job titles that you can now be seeing online, instead of just focusing on the usual ones that you are familiar with. Then, so what should you do now? Now that you know AI can do a whole lot of things for you, as a data analyst, as a business intelligence analyst, what should I now do? Master the fundamentals. Yes, you should still have your technical knowledge. It's not going to, I'm not going to say that you no longer need technical knowledge. No, you should still have your technical knowledge. Learn your Power BI, learn your SQL, learn your Excel, as the case may be. Have that knowledge, so that if AI is hallucinating, you will know that it's hallucinating. Hallucination means giving you an output that is not supposed to give you, that you are not expecting. Then build your BI toolbox. If it is Power BI, for instance, or Tableau that you are using, learn how to use that particular tool. Within Power BI, learn your DAX, your Power Query, your semantic model, and how to create a good data visualization that can help you tell a data story. Then add AI to your workflow. Learn how to prompt AI, learn how to ask the right question to get the right output. Then understand modern data platform. Like I mentioned earlier, if you're using the Power BI ecosystem, that is the Microsoft ecosystem, understand Microsoft Fabric, cloud architectures, like that. Excuse me. So the next one also is I need to prove that you can solve problems, because companies now, they are no longer looking for someone with just the technical knowledge alone. They also need someone that understands their business. And the way for you to be able to prove that you understand their business is through your portfolio, the kind of portfolio project that you are doing. Your portfolio project shouldn't just be a display of a dashboard. It should be a project where you have a business question. This is a business problem that I'm trying to solve. this is the dashboard I created for this. This is the process I used for this, and this is the outcome, the insight I got from the dashboard. And these are the recommendations that this particular company can do in order to correct this problem that they are having. That, excuse me, that is the particular workflow that people expect you to have now in this current age. Someone that speaks their language, someone that speaks their business language, that understands their business. So these are the various things that you should now be looking towards doing, not just the technical aspect of it. You should also have the business knowledge of what you are doing. So don't become someone who only knows how to build dashboard. Become someone that can answer questions when called upon using dashboards. So what problem are we trying to solve? What does the data actually tell us? What should the business do next? Be someone that can now answer it faster compared to before. When someone asks you what should the business do next, you might be trying to like build the dashboard, create the data model, and all of that. No, become someone that does that kind of process really faster, that they can get output from. And you find that if you're not someone that delivers your dashboard fast and give them answers to their question, you become valuable in your organization, and your manager will be happy with you. So that is all. Questions? Hi, Danny. Hello.
Hi, I don't think he's on the call.
Oh,
Yes, but me, I want to start with a question
oh,
before.
okay.
Yeah, how that that's fine with any other person that is on queue. Yeah,
Okay.
let me just start with one, right? So now, yeah, we understand we are in the world of AI, and anybody needs to get on board, right? If they don't want to be left behind, which is completely true. And then you mentioned that there are ways that you could expose your data to this AI
Yeah,
without being compromised.
exactly.
Yeah.
Mm,
Is it the free version or the paid one? That's my first question, right?
okay. So for the question from Power BI, for instance, you have a way of to show your data model. So the data model, like more like the data architecture, in the sense that you have your columns and you have the tables within your data, but not the exact data within that. So in Power BI, for instance, you have the DAX query of info.view. When you type that within your DAX query editor in Power BI, it showcases the whole tables within that particular report. It shows the whole measure, not the measure in this case, it shows the whole columns within that particular report, right? And this is something that you can export to an Excel file. When you export it to an Excel file, it will show you this is the table, this is the data type of the column within that table. And this is also the connection, the relationship that it has. So these are basic things that an LLM needs to know that can really help. Cloud can now generate the data for you. Do you understand? So you can easily put this feeding on Claude, right? And it can help you now with the analysis and all. That's if your data is sensitive. But if your data is not sensitive, you have the Power BI MCP server that you can use to connect your data and start reading the data model like automatically.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. I think my concern mostly, right, is that this Claude that you talked about, are you still referring to the free Claude version?
Yeah, the free version can actually get you to a particular point. Lately, right? I know that they have put some restrictions on what you can, the number of tokens that you can do,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But the free one can still get you to something.
But
Like,
the free one is my concern here is still data integrity, right? My concern here is still the exposure of data. Like
like
from
I
what
said,
I know.
I am
Like,
not exposing my data if I export the architecture from Power BI. You are not
okay,
exporting
the
the exact
architecture,
data.
yes, yeah,
Yes.
exactly. That's what I
So
want.
once you're, like I said now, with that particular DAX of info.measures.view or info.table.view, Power BI shows you your columns, the whole columns within that data. It is not showing you the data itself. It's showing you if you have your customer ID, you have your product ID, you have your number of sales or revenue in this case. The only thing that it tells you is the architecture. It tells you that this particular column, oh, this is the key column. And it also tells you if it's the revenue column, it tells you that, oh, the data type of this particular column is a whole number, it's something. So it describes the column and you can easily export this within Excel. So I'm talking about it, the fact that you are concerned about your data privacy and all. So when you export this on Excel and import this into Claude, Claude can actually see, oh, this is your architecture, this is your framework of your individual columns. Okay, I can generate something based on this particular thing that you have shared with me. I can generate a sample and work with a sample for you. So that's one way to circumvent that issue.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for that clarification.
So
I'm sure most of them on this thing, the call will would have learned from this. Because the first one I felt confused, like, okay, the whole of
yeah, no, you can expose your architecture without the exact data within it. No,
within
you
it,
can't.
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's actually how the practical way to work with AI, especially if you're working with the free version. If you have
yeah.
money for the enterprise version, you're good to go, right? Because that's part of what you're paying for an enterprise.
Mm.
But if it's the
Although
free
most, just
version,
like I said earlier, most companies now have their own internal AI. They
yeah,
don't use open AI, they don't use Claude. Most companies
mhm.
have their own internal ones that they have already built that security in it. So for these ones, if you're working with a company that has their own internal one, you are not actually worrying about the fact that you're exposing your data to the world. No, you can now connect Power BI directly to it. So it can read the whole data. You don't need to export the architecture.
I get that. That's true. Thank you. Thanks for the clarification. So
You're
I think Damsi is
welcome.
here now.
Hi, Dan. I think the network is
Yeah, yeah. So please, if you have any questions
any
as regard
question.
what Chika just explained, you can send in the comment section so that can be addressed. Okay, so I have another question, right? Chika, are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So if now putting myself in the position of somebody of an entry data analyst, right? And of
Mm.
course, I'm learning the tools, I'm learning this, I'm learning that, and now they've added AI when I've not even found my ground yet.
Yeah.
Everything becomes overwhelming. Because for me now, when I was learning AI, when everything got introduced to us and all, it's easier when you've learned some other, you've learned the tools, you've learned the soft skills around being an analyst and all of that. So when the AI came, it's like, okay, it is just another tool I need to like upgrade on. So you just keep upgrading yourself in knowledge, as it just keep
Mm,
growing,
mm,
right?
mm,
So now, but for somebody that's just coming in, everything becomes a lot, right? You're learning this, you're supposed to learn that, you're supposed to be up to date with that. So for you, how would you look at this whole situation of the tools they're supposed to learn, the soft skills they're supposed to know about, and also now adding AI to it? What are the simple basic things that you could
mm.
advise in terms of those that are trying to like look for job and get something doing, right? What are the simple basic things that you could advise them to do with AI to complement what they are learning and how they are learning, so that it does not just seem like there's just a lot that they are trying to do at the same time.
Yeah. Okay. Just like while you're asking the question, you already answered a few part of it, but let me just that. Yeah. So the first one, basically, I like the way you said the basic tool. When I was in my
Mm.
presentation, I still mentioned the basic knowledge, because
Yeah,
this will
you
even
did.
help you when you eventually start using AI to validate what AI is giving you. You still need your basic Excel, you still need your SQL, then you still need your Power BI. But I think now in this case, the time that you now spend on these tools will now be reduced compared to before when you don't have any assistant, right? But now you still need these particular tools. You still need to learn your Excel, your SQL, and your Power BI. You still need to know how they all work. That is like the first step. Then afterwards, your business knowledge. You still need to learn how a business works. Then also you can now start incorporating AI in it. But the good side of it now, because of the fact that we now have Claude and we now have easy access to information, and most of these tools have been trained on business scenarios. They've been trained on different desktop. So you're learning now. You're no longer learning alone, in the sense that just like 6 years ago or something, oh, you learn alone by just watching either YouTube video. You're no longer learning alone. As you are learning, you can now be asking ChatGPT or something, at least a prompt engineering. Most people now know how to chat with ChatGPT. You are no longer learning alone. You can be learning, and if you have any clarification, you can prompt ChatGPT or Claude in order to get that answer faster and move forward from that. So you find out that even your learning process, it's now faster than before. Did I answer your question, QB?
Yes, yes. Thank you for that.
Yeah, that means seriously having issues. Any questions?
Victor, please, are you here? Chiamaka, do you know if Victor is here?
I saw him earlier, but I think also probably he left something or the network connection.
Okay, okay. Okay. All right.
Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Yes, good morning. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, Victor, we can hear you.
All right, great. So, I've been, I've been really behind this. Uh,
Good morning, Victor. Welcome. Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
all right, good. It's my pleasure to be here. So, please confirm if I can go ahead and start the session.
Victor, you can go ahead. We're waiting for you.
Okay. All right. Good morning, everybody. My name is Victor Jacob Asuquo, and I'll be talking about don't compete with AI, learn to direct it because this is actually the skill that matters in AI careers. So, particularly, I'm going to talk about how to use AI more effectively and how to transition from just being somebody that admires AI to really being productive with AI. So, to give you context about myself, I started with learning AI really, really long ago when we didn't have the frontier models we know today, ChatGPT and the rest, they were not really what was then, what was really the case that time. I think when I started off with Python and machine learning, and it was really difficult to even find anybody to um, mention anything about AI, let alone developers. So from starting from machine learning to having to learn large language models and being a seasoned AI engineer today, the journey has not really been the same. I could remember when the hottest thing was TensorFlow. Yes, we when I started our machine learning community, it was basically about TensorFlow. TensorFlow was the thing that those days, right, where we talked about deep neural network and the rest. We had to change to machine learning to incorporate other part of machine learning. And recently, we have now still changed to AI community, and nobody actually knows the next big thing. I think by then the most really advanced technology was retrieval augmented generation when I talked about it during PyCon Africa. All right. So let's continue. So by the end of this session, you are going to know how to leverage AI, because you cannot outbid AI alone. And if you really want to compete with AI, is a technology that's definitely going to amplify the way we work. So instead of trying to um, compete with AI, how do we now harness AI? How do we use it effectively so we can achieve everything we actually want to do? Because the way I really want people to go about learning about AI or using AI is look at it as a junior staff that has everything you need but doesn't know how to actually make the right decisions. So you have to instruct it, you have to prompt it on whatever you want it to do. All right, great. So I'm going to start with this question. Will AI take, a lot of people ask, will AI take the job before I even get in? So according to one of the trading questions on Google, a lot of people ask this question. This was one of the query that was being asked as of early 2019 to date. So this is most common concern among early career developers entering the industry today. The rapid advancement of artificial intelligence creates a sense of anxiety about the future of software engineering roles. However, the honest answer is not a simple reassurance to stop worrying. Instead, it requires acknowledging that asking if AI will replace you is the wrong question entirely. The true challenge is learning how to position yourself correctly. So I'm just going to get context from what our second speaker said. Um, yes, AI is going to actually be good in a lot of ways, in a lot of things you already do. So how do we now position yourself towards coming? I think Elon Musk says by 2030 you are going to have more surgeons than the best surgeons in the world combined. It's only going to lead to the advancement of new roles that have not been created before. So how would I approach this? There are still a lot of careers that will emerge because of AI, and some careers they are still going. Some careers are slowly going away. So if for instance now, let's talk about software engineering, right? Or let's talk about coding, for example. You don't need to you don't need another team of 6 to 10 people to be able to build any software you need, right? And it does not also make sense that you build your software entirely with AI, but instead you can leverage AI to, especially if you want to just prototype your idea and take it to go to market, because the way you actually build is based on feedback and iteration. You can as well start with using the tools that are already there. So here is the thing: the coding arms race, the AI age, and the tree winner. So trying to memorize more syntax and grind lead code faster is losing strategy in the modern era. I'm not saying that if you actually want to go into coding, you don't have to start from the basics or learn everything you actually want to do. You need to go ahead and still learn those things, but in a situation whereby even the CEO of NVIDIA measures the performance of engineers based on the number of tokens they've actually used. I personally have used over a billion codex tokens and like 101 million cloud tokens. It means that gradually we are moving to something really, really different, whereby we are actually looking for builders. Yes, humans will still do the thinking and entire problem solving, but again, the priorities, they are really going to change. So the AI age, machine capability scales exponentially. Human typing speed and raw memorization capacity do not scale at the same rate. So there's this company that actually built a voice prompt company, a voice prompt product. So what the solution actually allows you to do is very simple. You can build anything or integrate AI or use AI on your way to gym. Yes. So instead of having to come and sit down and type everything, you can just use your voice mode. I think which is something Claude has now integrated into their core workflow. So you could just go ahead and interact with your coding agent the same way you would talk to your senior lead, and that's exactly where we are heading to. So now, what's the true winner? The developer who succeeds in new landscape are not the fastest coders. They are the individuals who become the best directors of underlying AI tools. And in this case, I'm going to give you an example. I wish we knew this company called SendGrid. SendGrid was one of the largest mailing delivery company, and today SendGrid is gradually going away because it as of the time it didn't support what yes it didn't support um it didn't support AI agents. So if I'm to build a product today, I will actually prioritize, can an agent use this product? So let me give you two case scenario. How many of you have heard of Superbase, the backend and database for hosting your application? In less than 6 months, Superbase I was performing almost all the databases we had, and it was really just a new startup. Why was that possible? It was because they did something really, really innovative. So if you actually want to build a product now, let's say you are using the plan mode, what happens? You can as well just say, okay, give me specifications. These are the tools I want to use. But it turns out that because Superbase had really, really good documentation that the agents could actually go through, or yes, go through and understand quickly, 7 to 10% of the times it will always recommend Superbase. Why? Because an AI agent can integrate it easily. They had really, really good documentation. So imagine a large language model recommending your product. Why? Because it can use it easily. Um, the documentation is good. So those are the things we actually want to talk about. Those are the things you need to consider. Also, recent allows AI agents to handle your entire mailing service. So recent has really good docs too, and integrates and accepts agentic capabilities. So there is now a new stack. I think those days, if you wanted to build something, you could actually go. You need an engineering lead. You need to pay for this, pay for that, and do this. But today, we have an entirely free stack we can use to build your products from day one. and go live without spending anything. So, and most of these tools would have not been there, but it's been there today because AI has made it possible. So the value is moving from writing code to judging the work. I confirm from a lot of people, in most case scenarios, I don't really use my hand anymore to type code. Instead of that, I could just give the agent a task. I was recently using Codex today, and I'm like, okay, I really love the agentic capabilities of Codex. So if instead of having to manually read your line of code, but you could just assign a task and give it benchmarks, right? So it cuts across everything in terms of security, allow you to plan, then review it, then judge the work. So before this year, there was this trending topic that was LLM as a judge. You could even use another large language model to be the judge of the output of each coding session. So the core value in software engineering is no longer found in pure syntax generation, but is found in other metrics like speed, reliability, efficiency, and the rest. And you all know that when Claude Mythos was launched, it was first made available to the frontier models or the frontier companies. Yes, for them to actually look at the flaws in softwares that we thought they were perfect, like Google, Ubuntu, and fix them first. So the new role, developers must move up the stack to act as architects, evaluators, and strict quality controllers. Like I already said, even Google today is hiring for vibe coders, but truly, what it's not about vibe coding. Like I already said, it will make you think in place of an architect. Okay, what do we need as core from this infrastructure? What do we need to prioritize? Is it speed, efficiency? So if you are prioritizing speed or efficiency, what's the stack we need to move? So leverage by letting AI handle the brute force execution of code generation, you can focus your energy entirely on high level direction and strategic problem solving. So what does directing AI looks like in practice? um let's today you can start a company and run everything autonomously with just an AI system or agent you have built. So let's start with problem decomposition, breaking a vague high level business tasks into concrete logical steps that AI model can actually execute. So you need to understand what I actually mean here. This does not mean going to AI to prompt AI, build me a software that does this or does that. I mean, today we are actually talking about harness engineering. And what is harness engineering about? You don't even need to prompt the AI again. Just give it a goal, give it a task. It will create the soft agent, set up the benchmark, and prompt each agent as needed. So, what does this mean? It means we can come up with a problem. When you get a problem, break it into concrete tasks to identify the pain point. So when you tell AI to build a software, it's really vague because it's really ambiguous. But you can break it into tasks that can be executed by any kind of agent with context. Now, number two, critical evaluation, actively catching instances where the AI is confidently wrong, including identifying the hallucinations and subtle logical bugs. So this is why even in your plan, you need to specify writing text. Text is non-negotiable, and what that actually means is that in situations, okay, in situations whereby you need to we are building really sensitive applications. For example, let's talk about a particular software you want to build. You have to still act like a judge to be able to review the output. Okay, so I'm going to say in this point you can is really critical because there was a time I was working on a software and I just had AI to take control of everything. And I was like, okay, go ahead, do everything. And then, well, why the AI gave impressive results, but it turns out that the AI was actually generating the data itself, and it was bringing in mock data to the entire data we had on it from the API. It was beautifully designed, and it had to like it didn't actually connect to fetch those data, but it generated those mock data, which wasn't true. So critical evaluation is really important. Next, system integration. Wiring separates AI generated outputs and components together into something real that ships, functions reliably, and operates securely in production area. So basically, security alone is another vertical on its own, because if you're actually talking about autonomous system and AI agents actually working in production, you know that one of what has always been a problem is security, because these models sometimes tend to be aware of their environment, so they behave differently from production and they behave differently during prototype. So that is why most people come out and build chatbots, or they just build a prompt and say, I have built a chatbot or an AI agent. That is not an agent. You just built a prompt response system. That's just the thing. You just built a prompt response system. Building a system that's production ready and reliable goes through needs a lot of thorough work. It needs a lot of thorough work, which includes first the tools we are using, grounding, audit, critical evaluation, and building all those steps so that at the end of the day, someone can just use your the software you built as a large language model, and you still be the one to pay for the compute tokens. So the skills that actually matter, four durable skills that survive every single tool change. So I would say personally, best skills that actually matter is long-term career resilience, regardless of which specific framework or AI models dominate the market next. Because if you actually want to go through the way of learning new tools as they come up, you'll be locked up in this loop of never ending, and you keep on learning, learning. So number one, judging and correcting AI output. So now let's give this is the first skill you need to learn: judging and correcting AI output. What does this entail? It entails that you have to be involved to monitor each and every step. As regards to, you should be able to answer the question of the black box. Okay, this thing I built, why did the AI actually respond this way, or made it take this particular direction? So you must do the technical test to spot issues and verify AI output against reality rather than trusting it blindly. So AI is highly fluent but frequently incorrect. Remember the case where I said look at AI as the best junior staff but doesn't know what to do. So the ability to accurately identify and correct its error, it's the single most employable skill in the industry today. So if you actually notice, I have not made anything like you have to learn prompting, or like you already know prompting is going, and what we actually have now is harness engineering. So the second skill you need to do is system thinking. You have to have a system thinking. You have to think in systems, design business writing, the big picture and real value. So while AI is really good at writing isolated functions, human engineers are required to design cohesive, scalable architecture. So what does this really mean? um, you could actually be the one to design your architecture yourself, and then make it compare. How I actually do my system design is I first go to plan mode and brainstorm all the tools and different architectures that are available. Then look at the pros and cons, then break it into phase implementation so that way I'm aware of what tools the agent is using, AI is using, why I should use it or not. So the big picture, you must understand the input, core logic, data flow, output, and critical failure modes across all connected components. There are instances whereby AI is going to make decisions that you explicitly told it not to do it, and when you need to actually follow each step for you to understand. Like I already said, imagine I did not check the infrastructure or check the core logic or actually follow what the agent is doing. I'm like, this is this is the good, this is really really good, oh my god, we have the best model. But in reality, we are generating mock data that is not really really good. So one of the ways that to actually solve this problem was the invention of MCPs. Number three, debugging non-deterministic systems. So non-deterministic in nature, unlike traditional software, AI outputs can vary widely even when provided with identical input. Like we already know, AI is AI is built on top of statistics and probability. So even if you give it the same inputs, yes, the even if you give it the same prompt or anything, the output is always going to be different. So we could, at this point, we can use MCPs to, or any skills. I think we have skills now to be able to follow up the um, debugging sessions to make sure that these systems, instead of having to go through like traditionally, we actually monitor and fix the bugs that are missing. So there's a particular tool that is really useful. I don't really remember the name, but what does the tool do? Each time you make changes in your code, it runs the test to find out, okay, this change you have actually made, does it affect or does it change how the system now works, or based on changing this, has it affected other part of the code? So production age, developing the right tools and methodologies to constrain, evaluate, and troubleshoot the probabilistic output provides a massive advantage in production environment. So number four, clear communication and framing. I really think this is the most important because your technical skill, your technical skill is not enough. If you cannot communicate properly, even the AI will be confused. You need to be clear and specific, as well as detailed as possible to everything you work. What does success look like? Everything you have to communicate it clearly. So what is oversold and where to focus instead? So avoid chasing every new framework. Every week there's a time that said, okay, Cloud is now shipping as a company. Every week the new AI tools are coming up, but instead focus your energy on learning, underlining computer science principles, building deep system knowledge, and consistently shipping working code to production. So one thing I would really advise is, if you're actually going to build what's actually scalable or what you really want people to use out there, forget about building demos. If you want to build a demo, ask yourself, if after building this thing, will somebody at any point in time in any part of the world use this thing? If the answer is no, then there's no need for you to start building it. So tool fluency, get fluent using modern AI tools, concepts like harness engineering, prompting, MCP, AI agents, and the rest. Now own your full stack. Build at least one small functioning project. Now you can even take it to a senior, an experienced person, even if you have built an AI, to evaluate and comprehensively test the correctness of the AI output, which is also called benchmarking. Then you go deeper into one specialization. Either you want to focus on RAG, core machine learning, or traditional workflow. So I'm going to use myself as An example before I wrap up, nobody, I like I already said, starting out AI alone was really, really genuine. Nobody was talking about AI as of then. Nobody, we didn't really have the use cases of AI. I'm sure you could. By then, I was learning in a tech hub, but you ask somebody who is an instructor here, and what is AI, what's ChatGPT, like, oh, I have no idea. What is it about? So having to navigate, you don't, and in today's world, you can do anything you want to do. So nobody is coming to give you permission. Start whatever is on your mind, start doing it right away. Build. We have LinkedIn, we have social media. That's your number one leverage. Your location doesn't matter. Just start building and show. So direct, don't compete. This week, what I actually want you to do is I want you to, that tool you have been saying you are going to experiment with it. This is the time I actually want you to um go and work with it. That idea in your head. There are free AI tools now. Agents, Router, Lovable, Claude, ChatGPT, they all have free usage. Go and start building that small thing. But once you build it, show it to somebody, post about it. So I think we have come to the end of today's talk. And in summary, having to migrate or transition into career is really, really a good a good field to come into, because like you already know, the future is agentic, and most of the workflows that normally took humans to do can be automated with AI. So what that actually means is you now have the leverage to build things. Otherwise, you would need teams to do. So the best way to actually get into doing anything is by starting it. Okay. So even if you take the best courses online and you continue to take courses, resources, and the rest, you won't have the skills, you won't have the experience you need unless you actually start building with it. So my key takeaway for you here is this week, build one small thing and show one person. That is the actual way to get started. And I also run communities. I'm the lead for Python community in Uyo, and also the lead for machine learning community in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. And currently, I'm having conversations with COSO for us to be able to establish a community here. So thank you very much for joining the session. If you have any question, you can feel free to ask.
Victor, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I can see there's a task there already. This week, build one small thing and show one person. Oh, okay. Okay. So, Victor, I'd like to ask a question, real quick.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So, what's what would be what's the word now? Okay. Suppose there's a newbie here or a beginner or a student, right? A fresh graduate, who want to come into the market space, the industry, right? And the person has, let's say, 6 months to prepare or to learn. What would you ask the person to learn? And what would you ask them not to learn? What would you ask them not to focus on?
Okay, thank you very much. I talked about it, but I don't want to go back to the slide. So what you have to do is very simple. Do not chase starting out into AI, do not chase tools. Do not learn ChatGPT, do not learn Claude, do not learn Gemini, do not learn any kind of AI tool you just jump onto. So I advise that you go into the fundamentals to start with the core concepts. That will be the first step. This normally involves maybe learning Python or understanding the basics of software engineering, probability, and statistics. When you get when you get that foundation, what you could do next is understand the applications and use cases. What are transformers? How do we use it? How is it different from traditional machine learning models? When did we start talking about traditional machine learning models? The next step would be you can now go into learning the fundamentals of transformers and large language model, because large language model, they are basically the same thing, apart from the fact that they have different parameters and training data. They all work the same. Okay, then you can now understand the different use cases. At what point do we need a large language model, and at what point do we not? That is where neural network and transformers come in with Python. Then from that, what you might want to do next is you might want to go into learning what is called retrieval augmented generation, which is RAG, which has to do with grounding the hallucinations of large language models. Then after, on that should be on your fourth or sixth, on your fourth month. Yes. Next thing you might want to learn is fine-tuning large language models, and also fine-tuning any frontier model with your proprietary data. Then after that, you could now the last thing you would be learning AI agents, which involve no code automation integration, integrating your frontier models with calendars to Slack to actually make give you these agentic capabilities. So in 6 months, let me use this word locking. If you're actually locking, you can go from a beginner to somebody that can build reliable AI systems. So I would really say do not chase the tools from the beginning, but actually learn why we have those tools and why they behave the way they do. Then you can go ahead and start building.
Okay, thank you very much, Victor. Do not chase the tools. Don't chase the trends. In essence, don't
Yes.
chase the clouds, the GPTs, the Gemini, and all of that. Oh, that's
Yes,
very interesting because we see
because
a lot of times, these things are thrown at us. Cloud, this thing, then cloud become an AI expert in this, and a lot of tools are just coming up there. A lot of tools are coming up left, right, and center. We see a lot of things popping up, and it can be overwhelming for someone who is just starting. It can be overwhelming for someone who's just starting. But just like you said, starting with the fundamentals, learning principles, learning fundamentals, and I subscribe to that as well. I subscribe to that as well. And thank you very much once again. Um, I can you drop your LinkedIn profile on the group on the chat so that people can also get to follow you and know more about you. So Victor is an AI engineer at, and I hope you've learned from him. He's coming from the perspective of a software engineer or an AI engineer, unlike Chiamaka and Kuburat. They came from the lens of a data analyst and a business intelligence analyst as well. Um, Thank you very much, guys. I do appreciate your time, though we were quite fast spent. The network has not been friendly on my end, and I apologize for that. It's been topsy turvy on my end with the network. But thank you very much for your time. Okay, yeah, I've seen it. I will just drop that on the just in a minute. Drop that on the chat. Victor, can you please send the link? Send the link. Send the link. Okay, so before I wrap up, Kuburat, are you there? Are you still with us? And Chiamaka.
Yes, yes, I'm here. Damsi, can you hear me? Hi, Dami. Victor, can you hear me though?
Yes, I can hear you.
No, okay. I guess he dropped off again.
Yes.
Hello, Kuburat, are you there? I
Yeah,
just keep on having
um,
these network issues.
yeah, I'm here.
Frustrating.
Chiamaka
Yeah,
said to
okay, so I was going to ask, uh, what did you say?
can you add Chiamaka back to stage?
Okay, just doing that now. Okay,
Okay,
yes, done.
all right.
The network is showing me shaggy this morning.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay,
So,
so it's really really frustrating, honestly. Quick one. If there's one practical takeaway you'd like to give the audience, what would it be on your end in this age of AI from the data analyst lens?
what would it be? Okay. Um, what it would be is that what? Okay, I think the takeaway would be that. So, as you are here right now, or as you're listening to this or watching this, right? What I want you to know is the path to continuous learning and personal development is um, is not negotiable. It's not. It's not negotiable for anybody, right? It's not. The path to continuous growth. You want to continue to develop yourself. You want to continue to be a better person and a better version of yourself. You want to be knowledgeable. You want people to listen when you talk, right? You have to develop that brain. If there's nothing in that brain, there's nothing for people to listen to. If there's nothing in that brain, you don't have that confidence that you're supposed to command. If there's nothing, if you don't fuel that brain, if you don't feed it what it needs to get you to wherever you want to get people to listen to you when you talk, um, you have to keep learning. So for me would be now look at we are almost at the end of the year, right? We're almost at the end of the year. It doesn't even have to be a timeline for end of the year you give to yourself. But whether you whatever you do, whether you increase your knowledge or not, whether you keep learning or not, whether you decide to change your life and say, you know what, I want to be better at this, I want to do this, I want to have a career in this, and I want to push for it. No matter what you do, tomorrow will come, next month will come, next week will come, next year will come. So it depends, it now depends on what you do with that time. So you have all the time, right? You have the time and all of that. It doesn't matter if you're taking it slowly. It could be take it just a day at a time. But whatever you do, right? Tomorrow will come. 3 months time will come. 4 months time will come. So will your title have changed when that time comes or not? Or you will remain where you are? So I leave that question for you. So that would be my bye-bye statement to you. Thank you. So I also noticed that Dempsey dropped off, right? And I think the question would I just have to go around to every other person on the team. So Chiamaka, what do you think about Dempsey's question?
Okay. For me, what I would like everyone that has listened so far on this particular session to go with is the fact that AI is here to stay, right? And the earlier you start incorporating that, in the earlier you start adding that to your workflow in data analysis, business intelligence, the better for you. You can start small. If you're working, if you're still a beginner, if you're working with Excel, Microsoft has Excel Copilot that you can explore, right? No matter how small, prompt engineering, which is like the most basic aspect of things, how to ask questions in order to get response, should be something that you should start working with. Start looking towards having AI in your workflow, incorporate it in your workflow. How can I work with this to make my work faster, to make me valuable to my employees? Because believe it or not, right now, most data analysis roles, business intelligence roles now have a form of AI incorporated to it. So you need to still fulfill that requirement in the job description. So you should start, the earlier you start learning that, the better for you. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that. Victor, you'll be next.
All right, thank you so much. Practically, is just to start building from my perspective, start doing something with it. And it really depends on your use case. If you actually want to use it while doing your business analysis, or you want to use it anyhow you want to use it, just start using it and start building with it. I think that's from me.
Yeah, all right, thank you. So maybe we'll just give you minutes for Dempsey. Hi, Dempsey. Are you here?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Okay,
The
so
network threw me off again.
so let me yeah. So just an update, right? I answered your question, and we all went round to answer the question of the takeaway for everyone on the call or everyone listening to the call. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Kuburat. Thank you very much, Chiamaka. Thank you very much, Victor. We do appreciate your time, and I trust the audience also have, they've picked up some things based on the information shared, and I trust eventually when we host more events, your presence will be acknowledged as well and available for us. Thank you very much to the audience as well as taking time out of their busy schedule to ensure they participate in today's summit. Um, Please, if you have any other questions, feel free to send them a DM. We'll definitely respond. And as for Sodbridge Academy, very soon we'll be starting a new course, and more information will be communicated on our social media channels. So just keep on the watch, keep on watching on our YouTube page, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook as well. Because as we progress with the new courts, more information will be released. Once again, thank you very much, and I hope you've learned um, and picked practical insight you can take as a beginner, students, professional career, or professional switch. I mean, or wherever you may be in your career journey. Things you can use and get better in this age of AI. Thank you very much once again, Chiamaka. Thank you very much, Victor and Kuburat. Do have a wonderful day. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you,
everyone.
Victor. Thank you, Dams, for having us. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.